There you go. There you go. Come on, son. That's not necessary. That's not necessary. Here we go. It's going to be another one of those pods I see.
Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. Can you hear me, Corey?
I can hear you fine, brother.
Hold on, man. I can't hear you. Let me get the audio right. Hold on.
This guy.
Man, it's been a lot of, I felt that, the Broom introducing the podcast was a bit appropriate for this time of the season. This is the Zone Sports Podcast, by the way. Yes, yes. I am one half of the host, your boy Big V. That is the human air horn himself, my guy Corey. There we go. We never tell them the same old tired story. You know what I mean? All that. But overall, man, listen, let's just look. Look, Corey, I got a lot to say, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I normally started off with a little theme song,
Yeah,
what I mean, to get us razzle dazzle,
yeah.
and all that. But nah, man, I'm here to talk heavy today, Corey.
Talk to the people.
I'm here to talk heavy sports, man, and you know, I'm gonna tell some truths and we're gonna laugh a lot. You know what I mean? So let's just jump right into it. You know, I started off with the Broom opening up the podcast because if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a clean sweep for anybody that OKC has ran into, including our LA Lakers. Yep,
Yeah.
they got swept. Series over, 4 games to 0. But I do have some breaking news, Corey. I got some breaking news just came in before the power started.
All
And
right.
this is for all my Laker fans. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, just came across my phone that Luka Doncic will be cleared for game 5.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This guy. Come on, son.
Hey, just came across my phone, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Listen, man, it's over. It's over as we knew it would be. It's over.
Yeah.
Whoever expected the Lakers to get past OKC without a Luka, it's over. No, no. I know whoever had their money in prize picks and all the gambling sites out there, if you bet that the Lakers was going to lose every single game, you should be probably uh just under Jeff Bezos right now. I would be thinking. I would be thinking because that was the money maker all series, yo. Listen, as a Laker fan, I guaranteed them that they was gonna get swept. Nothing less,
Mm,
nothing less. I didn't. Not even a gentleman sweep.
no
No,
gentleman
no,
suite.
no. Are you crazy?
I had a gentleman suite.
And this is why you don't bet. This is why you don't bet, Corey. And when you do bet, you bet your little measly 35 cents and get $1.10 off of it. This is
No,
why. This is
every bet.
why. No, this is why, Corey. Because no, you should be ashamed of yourself thinking we're gonna give a gentleman sweep on the fully loaded minus Dort, you know what I mean, OKC team. Yo, let me remind the people out there who aren't familiar with OKC's game. This is listen, it is two organizations, in my opinion, that draft extremely well. And listen, and we're gonna get back to drafting a little later in this sweet conversation. Because like I said, I'm here to tell some truths and we're gonna laugh a lot. You know what I mean? That matter of fact, that is the title of this episode. Truths and Laughs. Yo, listen. It is two organizations, Corey, that draft extremely well in the NBA. And for the people that's been on the rock, it is the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's it. That's all. One and two. One and two. It aren't two organizations. There aren't other. I couldn't name another organization that could come before those guys. Nope. Not the Hornets. Not the Lakers. Not the Knicks. No. No. It's those guys. Those guys have took guys that or particularly role players and made them stars. Like, yo, man, for those that don't know, go look up Manu Ginobili. Go look up Tony Parker. Look up a Sean Elliott, if you will. Just go look. These are guys. Who the hell is it? These aren't guys that have sneaker contracts. Nah. These ain't your guys that's always on the Gatorade and McDonald's commercials. Nah, fam, that ain't what they draft. Nah, these guys are diamonds in the rough. I don't know who the fuck is doing the scouting on the Spurs for all these years. God, like, dog, hats off, cause y'all just keep doing it. Y'all keep finding guys like Castle. I don't even know how y'all do this.
Never heard of them.
This is a system, Corey, for years on years that doesn't have a chink in it. And I'm telling you now, man, OKC, they've took a page out of their book. They're getting guys like Dort and all the other guys. They took guys. Listen, oh my God, and this is full circle. This is full circle because we are talking about truths and laugh. And the truth in the matter is OKC took players or a player from Philly and it's thriving.
The McCain guy.
Oh my God, man. Talk about putting a kick me sign on your back. Are you crazy, Philly? I want to just stop right there, quick, because I want to know your thoughts. Because we're gonna continue, but what I know you had them, us winning the game as the Lakers, gentlemen sweep, if you will. What are your thoughts on just us getting not even gentlemen swept?
Yeah.
And your thoughts on the Thunder, man, who haven't lost a game this playoffs.
So I was so emotionally detached, really during the Rocket series with the Lakers, with our Lakers, because I'm like, okay, cool. If we win, then you got OKC. And the reason why I say I thought we was going to at least get one is because even though OKC have won a championship, I'm still factoring in the fact that they're young. And I'm like, oh, man, they're going to come in here, not really take us too seriously, whatever. And we're going to be able to kind of steal one. Not necessarily like beat them convincingly, but and those game ones are so paramount with that. And I was just like, yo, if we could just mess around and steal one, who knows what can happen? That's my super optimist side coming out. Like, I'm not necessarily winning the series, but I'm thinking more so of like, we have seen this before with the Golden State Warriors and Toronto Raptors, where it's like, okay, let's just steal one here and there. Oh, someone gets injured, things start to break your way, and then shit does happen. That was the only hope that I've had of getting past the series. But I did thought that, okay, these cats is young. Like, ain't nobody giving us a fair shake. Right, and rightfully so, by the way. We'll be able to steal at least one in game one. The closest we came was obviously the other night, or whatnot. And so I didn't think too much of that. Again, emotionally detached. Now, with OKC, I would tell all the other 29 NBA teams, don't you trade nothing to Sam Presti at all. Don't trade nobody, no picks. Get like how they done did Danny Ainge, who's out in Utah, who could sit up here and will and deal picks. Big V, I don't know if you played fantasy football before. I quit playing a while back, but we always had that little smarty-arty, nerdy type of guy that don't nobody want to trade with, because you'll have this same said player on your team and he's doing squadoosh, right? He gets him, all of a sudden he pops, and now you mad at the guy you traded with when you should have been mad with yourself. Happened to me about 2 or 3 times, Big V. And I say, you know what, man? I sit up here, I buy all the magazines, I subscribe to these, it's like, it ain't helping. Okay, I just don't have that type of luck. And I come to realize that in my life. Now, getting back to OKC, your point is extremely valid in regards of the draft picks and how they're able to make these trades. Big V, I have come to say that while I just said that there's 30 teams in the NBA, I lied. Here's the laugh part. There's 31 teams in the NBA. It just so happens that OKC, their bench counts as a second NBA team. Their bench could come out here and maybe not win the championship, but they could mess around and at least get to the second round in the West on their own without Shea Gilden.
That's a good point.
This is still without Jalen Williams. No, not that Jalen Williams, not the other Jalen Williams, the star Jalen Williams who have a commercial. He ain't even playing.
That's a good point.
Whoop ass. And normally when you want to catch a team, quote unquote, with their proverbial pants down, you keep your starters in while you playing against a second tier team. Oh, but with OKC, as The Rock would say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The way that their organization is ran from top to bottom and their drafting is second to none. You want to throw San Antonio in there? That's the only other team that I would give you because you are 100% correct. You are 1,000% correct. They are two NBA teams in one. And I sat up here and I told my wife last night, I said, I don't know how OKC is going to keep this up because they're going to have to pay somebody. But then she was like, didn't you say the same thing last year? Damn. I did say the same thing last year, Big Vito. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting. I know we're going to move forward in a minute. It's going to look. I don't think the Timberwolves have anything for San Antonio right now. Bear in mind, San Antonio has beaten OKC 3 times out of the 4 times this regular season. It's going to be interesting. Regular season and playoffs are different, but that's what I think of OKC.
If it's San Antonio against OKC, that is a budding rivalry, and I love it. I love it. Again, this is how it's supposed to be.
And I would argue that's the NBA Finals right there, Big V too.
I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. That is a 7-game finals waiting to happen. I love it. I love it. I love it. Both organizations that draft well, 1 and 2. This is what it's about. This is what it's about right here. I love it. We're gonna keep it still here though, Corey, because I want to keep it on the draft. And I want to talk sweet. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the zoners out there, if you haven't been keeping up because you've been busy, I know y'all have lives. But, the Philadelphia 76ers got swept too. It wasn't just our Lakers. You know what I mean? The New York Knicks, 4-0 the Philadelphia 76ers. And, Corey, while I've been watching this series, I have been keeping some notes here because sometimes my mind, when I'm watching the series, I have thoughts that I want to bring to the pod, but I always forget to just jot them down. And I think I'm going to remember it, but then so many things happen. And I want to just say so much when we podding. So I've got some thoughts here I want to talk about here, Corey. And this is, and I want to get your thoughts because it makes for a good pod, right? So I have here so many fans at the Sixers Stadium thought they was in New York. Corey, let me tell you something. I was cleaning my tub on, I think it was game 4, cleaning my tub, Corey, and every time something happened and the Sixers scored, right? No, the Knicks scored.
Knicks scored.
I thought that the Sixers had scored because it was loud in the background. And I swore that they was in Philly. So I took my mask and gloves off to go grab the remote, and I had to peek around the corner and turn the volume up a little bit just so I could make show, Corey. And well, you know it, that was in Philly. But it sounded like a Knicks crowd. Yo, talk about insane. Talk about heartbreaking. Talk about what the fuck is going on. Yo, Corey, I've heard that they had stopped selling tickets to New Yorkers, so it could be more Philly fans there. Corey, I started watching the game and saw a bunch of Knicks jerseys in the building, Corey.
Yeah.
Corey, I thought Sylvester Stallone was going to come back from the back with a Patrick Ewing jersey on. That's what I thought, Corey. I thought that he was going to run up the Rocky steps with the jersey on, Corey. That's what I thought. That's what it felt like, Corey. I didn't know. I thought if they played the Rocky theme song, John Starks was going to take the court. That's what I thought. That's how I felt. I didn't know. It was insane, Corey. Moving on to my next thought. It says, what about how Robinson dunked on Embiid? Corey, yo, oh my Lord, Corey, he caught the lob and Embiid tried to block the lob and he dunked on it, hung on the rim. He kind of spun around on some Sean Kemp from 94 type of vibe, Corey, where Embiid just falling back. Oh my God. I thought Embiid was going to hit his head on the back of Robinson's stomach and get a concussion because that's where it was, Corey. His hand pause was by his stomach pause again, Corey, because when he couldn't do nothing else but fall back. You got yammed on.
Yeah.
That was disgusting, Corey. I screamed so loud in my crib, Corey. Listen what I'm trying to tell you, because I love playoff bet. This is what we love to see.
Yeah.
We love to see, Corey. I love it so much. And here goes my last thought. Ladies and gentlemen out there, I have the process is over. Philly fan, the process is over. Corey, how Vince Carter tell him in the dunk contest what he do, Corey? That's it. That's it. Oh, and you want to know why? I'm glad you asked. I got some thoughts on that. Yo, Embiid health is unfortunate. It is. Embiid health is Embiid when healthy, fired. Former MVP, might I add.
That's right.
He ain't done nothing wrong. I want to leave him out of it. But with Corey, the name of this podcast, dog, is Truth and Laugh. Because here's the truth about it. The process is over. And I don't know if y'all know, Philly fans, it's been over. It's been over, Corey. When are y'all going to be honest about this? We just got through talking about ain't no more teams that draft better than San Antonio and OKC. I want to reverse that because here's when the laughs, and this is why it's truth and laugh, because the truth of the matter is, it is, and the laughable part about it is, the Sixers have to be the worst drafted team in NBA history. They have to be. They have to be the worst. Corey.
Bad, bro.
I have it right here. All their first rounders have went to waste. They have went to waste. Every single first round. Corey, I want to take it back to the 90s real quick. Once upon a time, Corey, Philadelphia 76ers had Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse.
That's hard to even imagine that now.
If you're too young to even know who those two are, please get on, as my son would say, search it up and look up Allen Iverson and Jerry Stackhouse playing together. Oh my God. Y'all couldn't even get that to work. Don't even know how, but y'all didn't even get that to work. Corey, they had Markelle Fultz. Y'all fucked him up. He was a dog in college. Y'all made him change his whole shot until he didn't even know how to play basketball again. Now, I don't know if it was mental health issues or what, but y'all did that. He was a perfectly fine kid, Corey, in college.
He was.
He went to this organization, got fucked up, we ain't heard from him since.
Yeah.
And you talk about a dog in college?
That's crazy.
We talk about Markelle Fultz, dog. If y'all don't know how much of a dog he was, I know he liked to be the butt of the joke on a lot of his NBA shit. Look him up at college, unbeatable. Sorry. He was a dog. He came to this organization, Corey, got fucked up. Can you imagine him on the Spurs? But oh my God. Can you imagine him on OKC? Fire.
Ben Simmons was another one that got.
I'm going down the list right here, big dog. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Right here. Ben Simmons, another one. A dog in college, unbeatable. Number one pick. Y'all fucked him up. Y'all fucked that guy slam up. Say what you want. Y'all fucked him up. And I say all that to say, Y'all have been fucking up this process since the 90s. Since the 90s. This is history. It has gotten to the point that y'all have fucked up the process so much. Oh, by the way, before I get to how y'all fucked up the process, mind you, y'all go out and get Paul George, who's suspended for the first 25 or so games of the season. That ain't do y'all no favors at all.
Nah.
Are you crazy? Then, like I said in the first part of this pod, then y'all trade away a budding diamond in the rough. He go over to OKC and is making a splash.
Crazy.
Mind you, y'all have been around as an organization and a staff, record label, and crew longer than OKC have. And they figured out how to get a chip more recently than y'all. And y'all have had these first rounders back to back and have done nothing, Corey, but fumble the bag
That's why I'm glad the NBA is changing up this lottery stuff. That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, we got to stop rewarding mediocrity. You get these cracks at the apple, you don't do anything with them.
You don't do nothing with them. It is over for the process, Corey. That's all I got, man. What are your thoughts on everything that I had to say?
Yeah, well, I want to get back to the ticketing thing. I mean, look, man, I get it. Philly probably thinking it's over. We're gonna
just for a second. Can you imagine the Kinston High gym filled with Greenville Rose fans? Can you
or North Lenore? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Or South Lenore? Like, no way, man. And, somebody made, an okay point where it's like, well, the games in New York are so expensive, New Yorkers could get them cheaper in Philly. And I get that part, but how did New Yorkers get their hands on Philly tickets to begin with? Philly fans are selling them. And I look like this, man. I get it. No one wants to see their team lose. I got it. But, man, I done already paid for these tickets, dog. Like, let's at least go out. Whether we get bumped or not, man, let's go out and have some fun, man. Let me take me and my kid or whoever, me and my home, whoever.
Yeah.
The ticket's already paid for, man. Because
I'm let's go for the experience.
Let's just go. It's still an NBA playoff game, dog. The tickets are paid for. I don't get that. And especially if you're a season ticket holder. This is where your bread and butter of your PSLs come into play during the playoffs. So I thought that was wild, especially with Philly being a sports town. And I tell you what, man, you keep a whole bunch of that up, your sports town privileges will get revoked. Okay, because I think of New York, Chicago. You know how much flack Miami always catches for their teams with them walking out halfway in the third quarter and all that stuff doing Miami Heat games? Philly, don't let it become you.
Yeah.
That's right. You got to hold your team down. And look, I know Big V, he give me a hard time whenever Carolina, the Lakers get smoked. I came real close to wearing my LeBron James jersey today just in show of support for my squad. But, man, you ride for your squad, man.
You do.
You ride for your squad. I got my homeboy, rest in peace. He's a diehard Duke fan, man. And every time Duke would get smoked by Carolina, he'll go to A&T the next day rocking his Duke paraphernalia. I'm like, you crazy? But I respect that, man. You got the tickets. You got the tickets.
You got to go.
Real quick and I'll wrap. Look, if I ever get lucky enough to go to a Carolina and Duke game, I don't give a damn if we're getting smoked by 40 points by Duke. Guess what?
I don't care if it's at Duke. I'm going.
I'm already there.
I'm there. Yep.
There you go.
Totally agree. Corey, we still keeping the NBA. You know what I mean? We mentioned the Spurs. I think the series is 3-2. San Antonio at the moment, right?
Yeah.
The other night, Wemby threw a Kevin Garnett elbow in the neck of who was that? He threw the elbow.
Naz Reid.
He threw the elbow into the neck of Naz Reid, and a lot of people said that he should have been suspended, and I saw the coach in the presser say that, kind of like, I'm paraphrasing, hey, I'm kind of glad he did it, and I hope Naz Reid is okay, but the refs need to call some fouls. You know what I mean? That's kind of basically what he said. And I'm here to Corey to tell you, I support this wholeheartedly. I love it. This is playoff basketball. I love a good elbow to the throat, pause. You know what I mean? When if necessary. I love it. I love it. I love a good Ace and Anthony. Not Ace and Anthony. I said it completely
Anthony
bad.
Mason.
Anthony Mason. I love a good Anthony Mason. Boom, get your ass off me. Stop touching me. I love a good Charles Oakley. Bam, elbow to the, you know what I mean, to the throat if necessary. I love a good KG. You know what I mean? Work around the ball. Boop, caught him. You know what I mean? I love all that, and I'm here for it. And I like the fact that we are seeing the killer side of Wemby. I tell you people all the time, in the league is different kind of killers. You know what I mean? And the debate always is LeBron better than Kobe, Kobe better than LeBron. Let me tell you, I don't want to hear no stats. LeBron will never be better than Kobe. Never. I see it with the eye test. I'm going off the eye. Fuck the stats. Eye test. Eye test. LeBron can't fuck with Kobe. That's it. That's all. They're both killers. LeBron, he's the type of killer that he wants to put on the scope and try to hit you from a few miles out. You know what I mean? Kobe is the type that he wants to come into your bedroom in the middle of the night, no mask. You know what I mean? He wants you to know that he fucking did it. That's the difference. Kobe wants you to know he did it. I can take it back to the All-Star game when Kobe and LeBron was going at each other and Kobe was checking him, and we saw who passed off what. We saw it. When it came time to do it, we saw Bron pass the ball off, and you saw Kobe say, "Why the fuck you pass it?" He told him. We seen it. It's documented, dog. We saw when it's time to do it. We saw it's two different types of killers. And let me tell you, man, Wemby is that type of killer that's cut from that cloth that Kobe's cut from. He went and sat with the monks. He meditated for 3 months straight. He ain't said a word, Court. He sat like this, Court, and meditated for 3 months straight with a bald fucking head. When he got his hair balded, he came back to see KG, Court. KG, the ball, KG, so you got two bald-headed motherfuckers in the gym. And you got one who already won the chip and was one to arguably maybe top 3 best power force ever. Ever. And guess what? He put that killer instinct in with. Wemby had the first year. He ain't have this. He went and got with KG. It's different. This is like when Kobe went and got with Olajuwon. You saw it. When he got to doing the footwork court. This is the footwork and the elbow. See what I'm saying? He got KG told him, "Yo, dog, don't take no shit." That boy averaging 12 blocks a game damn near, Corey. This is insane. We saw him get 12 blocks in Corey, my mama texted me and said, "Yo, Wemby is on another level." And I didn't know what she meant until I woke up and saw the highlights. Dog, you got to stop playing with that boy. Not only is he good on both ends of the floor, like, dog, now he has that killer in him. I came on this podcast when he first came. I said, "Bro, I think the boy soft." I said that. Dog. Not no more, dog. This is what I like, and I support it, Cole. I support it.
This guy last night had 16 points in the first quarter with 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 16 points. In regards to the elbow, no, you have to send a message with that. If you felt like you're getting done wrong and you're not getting the call, I'm glad he wasn't suspended too. Now I'm with him. I think Charles Barkley just said it on PTI. Had this had been maybe in the third or fourth quarter, he probably would have gotten the next game. This happened literally in the middle of the second quarter. That's for all practical purposes, that's a game to me.
I like the NBA standing behind them and not suspended. I like them sending them.
I like that.
Basketball. I love
it. And I know Draymond argued, the double standard. Draymond, stop it, bro.
Yeah.
You're not. Your argument would have been better had you said had Steph Curry had done it. You're not them. Okay. There's levels to all this stardom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And dog, Draymond cut out. You are a 30-time felon. Knock it off.
Yeah, he got to be. He got to have some sense with that. But you know what I also like in the game last night? He also showed the maturity because Minnesota tried to goat him into it again.
Yep.
Where you had Anthony Edwards kind of little elbow, just touch him up a little bit, pause, whatever. And you had it wasn't Naj Reed, it was another player, I forget his name, who kind of like tugged at his jersey a little bit.
They tried it.
Tried him, and he was like, "Oh no, they were trying to rage bait me, bro. It ain't work."
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't. Wimby, he done showed how tough he is and his maturity all in the span of 2 games. Mm-hmm. I say that to say I can't wait for the OKC matchup to happen.
I love it. I love it, Corey. I love it, man. Keeping it NBA still, man. We got to give some rest in pieces real quick, Corey. Rest in peace to, man, Jason Collins, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rest in peace to Jason Collins. The first openly gay NBA player, y'all don't know. That was a while ago. I remember when the news first broke. You know what I mean? Wow. Then it what? Over 2 years ago. Then it,
yeah, easy. Yeah.
Easy. Yeah, easy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Also, really, man, I hate this that he was only 47.
Yeah.
Brain cancer. They say he's been dealing with it, man. I can't. I know that you've had your your things that you've dealt with this too, Corey. Can you speak to it, man?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm very open and upfront about the cancer that I had back in 2011. Mine was non-Hodgkin's, but same deal. You got to go to the doctors, get checked out, making sure that it don't either A, spread to your bones, so you get a spinal tap, pause. Don't nobody. I wouldn't wish that on Saddam Hussein if he was still living. That's how tough a spinal tap is. You also want to make sure it don't get to your bloodstream. And there's so like 3 billion different types of cancers. Mine was very localized towards my lymph nodes and my upper chest area. With stuff like this, man, some cancers they spread slow because I've been experiencing symptoms for months before I finally got it checked out. And when you get it checked out, you're going to get misdiagnosed because like, oh, it could be rest, or we're going to put you on this medication. You get like 35,000 EKGs. They don't find nothing. And meanwhile, that cancer's still moving. I'm not 100% sure of his story in regards of the treatment, how often he went and stuff like that, but it could spread quickly. Cancer don't care. And when it moves, it can move real quick. And I'm so sad that his was terminal. There was a point where during my ordeal, which is I wouldn't even compare mine to his, that I thought I was gonna die. Period, point blank. Like I thought I was gonna die. Because they said there's no known cause for mine. So it could be anything. They said the only thing they know of is advanced HIV. I just got with my, wife, the girlfriend at the time, my wife. I'm just like, yo, what, whoa. Like, yo, I know ain't always wrap up, but it's like, yo, that can't be it. Test came back negative. I'm like, whew, okay, but now what do we do? And you go through your rounds of chemo and stuff like that. And, chemo is kind of like flushing the toilet, man. Like, yeah, things get flushed out. It don't mean it can't come back, and stuff like that. So you have that happen as well. My mom went through breast cancer as well. She survived hers, but you constantly get checks and stuff like that. So it's always a game where you always want to listen to your body and stuff like that. But RIP to him. That's for sure on the cancer tip.
Rest in peace to Brandon Clark too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that it's alleged that he may have overdosed based off the paraphernalia that was found in his home.
And really, regardless though, rest in peace to that young man, only 29 years old.
Absolutely.
A star that played for Gonzaga. You know what I mean? A really good player when he was on the Grizzlies, man. But he had gotten into some trouble that we ain't got to get into. But man, rest in peace, regardless of whatever troubles he was facing during his time, man, alive, man. Still, you've had a family, somebody loved you, and everything. So, man, rest in peace to that young man. Man. Thoughts and prayers, man, to their families out there, man.
No doubt. Prayers up, yo.
Real quick, man, Corey, I came across the story, and maybe you can speak to this a little bit more real quick. Rookie Le'Veon Moss of the Miami Dolphins just retired. I think he was undrafted. Got picked up and retired after signing his deal. Not sure why. I tried to do some due diligence. Nobody really knows.
Nothing out there.
Why? I think they said, he had some injuries in college a little bit that might have hindered him in the past, but I think he was, on up and up. I mean, clearly he got picked up after being undrafted.
Yeah.
This is this is crazy. That's all I got, man. You know.
This is extremely bizarre. I read a couple of articles on this, and they all pretty much point to the same thing. No answers, at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, me too.
Um, I wonder, is it something personal? I don't know. I know that when you're a young kid, whether you're a ball player, basketball player, hockey, whatever, you do want to play in college. Like, college is part of it, but a lot of people that do play college do want to go on to the pro level. They said he played 32 games for Texas A&M. 1,800 rushing yards, 22 touchdowns. I mean, he sounded like he was a serviceable player. I started thinking a little bit more. I'm like, well, I wonder how much did he get paid with NIL, right? Like with this, like, is the NFL, like, is he good in the sense of, you know what? I don't really need the NFL. I got this dough, even though I definitely don't feel that NIL money on almost any level is comparable to NFL. Now, maybe not the first contract, but your upside is ridiculous, right? And then I had I went back to what my homeboys told me way back in the day that played for ECU for a minute. And he was like, yo, dog, you got to be a little bit off upstairs to want to play football. He said, when you think about all the injuries, how time consuming it is, like, he said, yo, it ain't like basketball or even hockey, even though hockey does have that collision element. But even in hockey, you're in a controlled environment in regards of, you're in an arena, is controlled, climate control. Whereas, out football, you out there with the elements. It could be hot, it could be cold, raining, snow. It's like you got to be a little bit off up there. And he said, see, one of the main things is, if you like football, it's not going to be enough for you in the pros. You have to love football, because football is unlike no other. You think of like the NBA, where I've heard former players talking about their teammates, where it's like, oh man, they only in it for the money, man. They only do this, or he just want to make the roster for the money. Because even basketball, you could kind of somewhat get afforded that luxury of, yeah, I'm just in it to get paid, dog. Like, it's cool. He was like, football, man, you gotta love football, dog, because you go through all this, you don't get paid as much as an NBA player.
That's a good point.
And the thing is that with CTE, right? That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You think about all that stuff, and then you just wonder, like, yo, is this something I really want to do? Bear in mind, real quick, is that half of the NFL is undrafted. Right, so he was projected to be a third day pick. So that'll put you like in that third to the fifth round category. He didn't do that, but he still walked on as got on as undrafted. So we don't know. We don't know what happened, other than, hey, theory number one, NIL money is cool, man. You know what, man? I'm gonna flip this and do something else. Number two is something personal where I can't play right now. Or just number three, man. Like, I like football, I just don't love it.
We'll have to see, man. We'll have to keep an eye on the story. Maybe
Yeah.
more will come out, you know what I mean? But in the meantime, y'all keep watching them clips or watching the whole broadcast that you do on YouTube or on your social media networks and all that. We'll appreciate y'all either way. Corey, I appreciate you rocking with me each and every week when we do this thing. And if you're new or old, this is how we end this joint, man.
Peace.